This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
You know how sometimes the first play of the game can be a real tone setter?
Aussie.
Yeah, I basically just went with Ashton Jen Teabag.
NFL.
He's not a walking 7 for 70 as I learned last week when he went 1 for 5.
Fantasy.
I'd probably lean towards taking Henry maybe ahead of McCaffrey just because of what I've seen.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Loading.
Australia's premier NFL fantasy football show is back for the Aussie Gridiron Network. This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Mate, we have said sayonara to the first month of the season. And to join me, Matty C, to wade through it all, is Australia's finest fantasy analyst, Taylor Goodall. Welcome back, mate.
Matty C, we're here at week 5. People who listen to us will thrive. And those wankers who don't will take a nosedive. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, let's thrive, man, because I've got to tell you, I've got some problems with some of my lineups, man.
Matty, I'm not going to lie. This is a weird feeling actually talking to someone. I'm based off a one podcast sample size. I'm used to just basically talking to myself, mate. I don't know what's going on.
That small 400 episode sample size where you had somebody to talk to outweighed by the one.
Absolutely. I'm only as good as my last podcast, Matty. So you know that.
That's true. Well, that was the greatest podcast that ever recorded that we got to publish. So there you go.
Exactly. It's amazing how as soon as I took the helm, just the publishing got done straight away, mate.
Amazing. It was so fast too. Like it happened. I need to ask you about that, Tay, because generally your role has not been to be the host. How did you find having to bring your newsreader face? Because it's a different job.
It was very, very different. You know me, and I sort of brought it up on the podcast. I'm more the colour commentator. I think everyone kind of realises that. You're sort of the one that keeps the ship steered and keeps it away from an iceberg. And basically, I'm the one that's trying to veer it back towards an iceberg. So it was different feeling, obviously, being host and having to steer that ship towards the goals that I needed to. And I was pretty happy with how it turned out in the end. I took the piss out of myself a lot, as I like to do. So that was always going to be part of my strategy. And yeah, look, in the end, I got a lot of great feedback from the super coaches about it. And, it's 2 weeks in a row where we've sort of had shit happen with that, whether it's not recording a first episode, then having to release one late. Obviously, with this one, this is the latest we ever had to release one because obviously I wanted to get something out there before Thursday Night Football. So I just jumped on at 7 a.m. And did a solo podcast, obviously, with yourself not feeling well. So, yeah, look, in the end, I got everything out there that I wanted to. Obviously, I had the episode sort of prepared the day before in terms of what I wanted to talk about with the most sold and most bought and everything like that. So I was pretty happy with what got out there.
I got to tell you too, it's weird listening to a podcast on the network that I'm usually involved in when I wasn't involved. Did you ever find that when you've missed an episode for whatever reason? Because life gets in the way with fathers, we're humans. And there'll be episodes where that one where Kev came on with my brother. How did you find listening to a show that you usually be on that you weren't?
I generally enjoy those shows more. I'm not someone who listens back to myself and doesn't want to hear it or cringes or something. I know I say a lot of cringe-worthy shit, but it's just more that because I wasn't on the show at all, it's just a complete brand new feeling. I know I forget a lot of the stuff that happens, so sometimes it feels like it's a brand new show sometimes, but I just felt like it was really cool listening to that episode, obviously with Kevin, your brother, because obviously I had absolutely no idea of where the show was going or what you guys are going to talk about. And sometimes I just think it is good to hear fresh voices sometimes. And yeah, I really enjoyed those shows.
Yeah, I've had some fresh voices on the podcast this year. And we've had such a nice contribution from the fellas who've been around for a long time as well. I'm looking forward to bringing in our guest tonight because he's one of the veterans of the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show from way back when it was not even called that. So it's going to be cool to have him on. Hey, mates, we have been doing a bit of work with the listener out there as well. We've got 4 Aussie NFL Fantasy Show leagues where the winners or the highest placing finisher in those leagues, who's not you and I, Tay, is going to walk home with an Aussie Gridiron Network prize pack. I've got some updates from my leagues, but how are your leagues looking, the gold and the blue leagues?
Yeah, I'd like to never talk about the Gold League at all, Matty C. So even if
is Kev still fucking undefeated? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, can you scrub whatever I say from the record? That would be absolutely amazing. So I'll start with the Blue League and the Blue League only. We've still got Team Will Mirth 03. He's 4-0. He's the only 4-0 team in that league. I'm sitting in fourth with a 2-2 record, so not too bad there. Sitting myself nice and comfortably in a playoff position, so I'm happy with that league. And there's no other leagues to talk about, Matty C. On to you.
That's it. I'm really pleased to hear that you've picked it up in that Blue League. And, mate, we got a bit of shit through the week for not mentioning somebody who was undefeated because they weren't first.
Oh, to be fair, I've actually mentioned him a lot during the year because he's been sitting in first the entire time. But it was more to do with the fact that I played him this week and I got an absolute bath. My team it wasn't that bad. I think I scored 130 odd, but it's obviously super flex and double regular flex. So obviously 130 odd is actually not as good as it sounds. I think Kev scored like 189 or something. He absolutely. Just cakewalked it. He's honestly scored like that basically every single week. It's just been a team that's been on fire for him. So he's done really, really well so far, Kev. He's sitting at 4-0 on the top of. There's actually two 4-0 teams. Cam, the ice cream man, beanbag man, is also 4-0 in that league. So yeah, he's doing really well.
Wow, look at that. And that Gold League is actually full of a lot of guys who've come through the show, and it was nice to get folks who've had a lot of contact with the show in the Gold League because we thought that was the right thing to do. And we call that Gold because it was kind of like a big standard. Green League, we had Green and Gold were the first two we put up. The Green League, mate, I've been working pretty hard in that league. I got off to an 0-2 start, but I'm back, mate. I'm back in fourth place with the 2-2 record there. Our league leader in that one, and this is the only undefeated teams in that league now. Josh UR 94 is still undefeated, but he's now moved into first overall with a good week last week. And second place, Boyd, the medical tents team, is also undefeated. So those two are 1-2. They've just flipped this week. Mate, I have moved into fourth in that one. There's a bit of a gap there, third and fourth, and a lot of the way down there are 2-2. So my opponent this week is a fellow also named Kevin, whose team is J Love Island. And it looks like we're pretty evenly matched in that one with a few bye players on each team thinning us out a bit. So that'll be a good one. Mate, over in the Red League, I get to play Randall McSupercobb, better known as Tom. That Red League, mate, I have redemption in that one. I'm second overall in that league with my 2-2 record. Isn't that atrocious that you can be second overall, 2-2?
Fuck, everyone's just vanquishing each other. Just like everyone's just sitting at the same record.
It's the most even league I've ever seen in my life. Our league leader in that one, again, we still have an undefeated team in that league, which I'm really pleased to see because that's been team owned by Jai L, who's been in front all season long there. But now he's got a handsome gap on everybody. My team there that used to be Smells Like Onions is now called Smells Like Victory after a couple in a row. So I'm assuming I'm going to get my ass handed to me by Randall McSupercobb this week, and I'll be a Randall McSuper loser. But we'll see what my team name ends up there. I've been delivering a bit of smack talk in most of these leagues, Taya. I know that you're a bit of a fan of the way I smack talk.
Yeah, I haven't noticed at all, Matty C. I don't see like 1,100 fucking notifications coming up from every single league that I'm in with you that you're just giving everyone a bit of subtle shit every single time you play. It's pretty
stuff too. Like, your team is filled with the sort of people who might not hold open the door for a pensioner. That kind of level of smack talk, mate. It's
yeah, super aggressive.
Not a zinger, but it'll linger. It'll make them take a good hard look at themselves in the mirror.
G'day, Gridiron.
Anyone that hasn't joined us before, it's pretty simple. Let's kick it off, eh? Is everyone ready?
The four horsemen of NFL in Australia.
If the sound ever plays, the picture's officially in.
Nick the lineman.
So it's the worst against any team, and it's also the worst passer rating that he has against any team at 66.3.
Brad the coach.
The Steelers have held the Ravens under 20 points in 7 straight games.
Isaac the analyst.
For this one, I couldn't understand it either. Like, I don't think they're making the playoffs.
Ian the Viking.
full of passion, full of fight. They might genuinely be interesting to watch again.
Previews, overreactions, and bloody best bets.
If Derrick Henry can get rolling, then I think it's no contest. The Ravens are going to win.
As a fan of the NFL, you hope he comes back because he's just an absolute beast when he gets on there.
That would be able to give, at least Justin Fields a chance to be able to build.
Let's move on after that insanity.
So I just think, though, it's going to stop here.
Defensively for the Bills, I don't think that's actually going to combat what the Chiefs do already.
Yeah, I guarantee you, Pete would get down on his knees for that.
G'day, Gridiron.
I love spreadsheets. I'm a spreadsheet man.
I love spreading my legs.
Twice a week, all season long on the Aussie Gridiron Network.
Tay, I am very excited to bring on our guest for tonight. This has been it's been a love affair with our guest, actually. I think it's about the 5th straight year that we've had this superstar on, and he brings so much, and he plays in so many cool leagues and has so many great stories. Yeah, you're pretty thrilled to be bringing back our guest?
Absolutely. It's always good to bring back people that have been here since the early days, since obviously the Astro League podcast days. And I think a lot of the times we've actually had him on in pre-seasons. Like I think we had him quarterback rankings show last year, and it's often been a lot of pre-season stuff. So it's going to be really, really good to get him in to start to the week and really talk about the nitty-gritty of the regular season. So really, really looking forward to it.
We've got so many games to play with this fella, and he is not just a bitter rival of mine in the Astro League since he came into the league and immediately hit the road with a 7-game winning streak as a debutant in the Astro League. He is also a fantastic fantasy player who brings a whole bunch of information and stories from this other great leagues in the Juicy Prune Cup. I'm looking forward to talking to Adam O'Grady. How are you, mate?
Welcome.
Oh, fan-fucking-tastic.
It's a thrill to have you back on, mate. You're glad to be back in the comfy confines of our stupid little podcast.
Oh, well, it used to be a stupid little podcast. Now it's grown out of control, and I don't know if I feel so comfortable.
It's certainly all of a sudden people have been finding us and hanging out with us, and I don't know. I'm always thankful when I see one listen, because I think that's a person who just spent an hour of their life doing this instead of something probably productive. But I'm always so grateful when people join us, and all of a sudden, we've got more. So you've kind of got a bigger platform to come and share a whole bunch of your insights, man. And I'm glad we've got you on because you're always well prepared and you fucking love your fantasy. How's the Juicy Prune Cup traveling, brother? This is the best international league I've heard that's been going for so long. How are you traveling it?
1-3. But love my team. It's been a hard slog. Most points scored against, so not a great start for the commission. That one.
That's pretty rough, mate. That's because when you've got the most points against, hey, you have leagues like this too, where it's like, well, what the fuck do I have to do to get a win, right?
I'm like that in that FFL Dynasty League, Matty said, where I came into the season and I'm like, I love my team. I've seriously nailed the last 3 drafts. Last year I still felt like I was a year or 2 away, and I just had this amazing season where everything clicked, and I've got Brock Bowers and fucking Brian Thomas and Marv. Obviously he's been struggling, but obviously still a decent piece in Dynasty, and got some good running backs, and I just felt like the team was set up for success this year. I just come out bang 0-3, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? and it's another one like Adam mentioned where even when I was 0-3, I think I was 5th in point scoring though, and I'm like, okay, well, it's not really a problem with my team. It's just kind of getting unlucky, and I'm just kind of getting the best of other teams that are against me. And then I came out and won this week, so I'm sitting there at 1-3. So I do feel like it's just funny. There are some leagues where I'm 4-0, and I'm like, I don't even know if I love this team. Whereas you got some 1-3s that you're just kind of getting unlucky with, and it kind of just goes back and forth between it. So I always implore people out there, if you've got a bad start, just stick with it, because there's a mess. How many times do you hear of these teams that were 0-4 or 1-3 and they sneak into the finals, and then they're the ones that actually end up winning the titles? So definitely to anyone, not just Adzi, but just everyone out there, just fucking stick with it, because if you like your team, that's all that matters.
100%. The one, I would say, the one thing that always gets under my skin after you love your team, but you have a rough start, is when the guy that has the least amount of points scored against him wakes up and goes, mate, all you got to do is you got to wake up early, do your homework, and make sure your defense plays well. And then you're like,
sure your defense plays. Screw that guy.
Screw that guy. Literally got an average of 90 scored against him, and he's telling you how to play fantasy, and you're like, oh.
It's saying that I think I've been that wanker, just being a dickhead by saying, you're a bad defense, like just being a dog.
Yeah, he needed a secondary. That's the team we've always called kind of in the Astros, whoever's team is sort of winning when they should be, is the drunk peacock. And I can remember you had a year like that, Adam, where you were pretty much it. And you just kept on winning with like scores of 85 to 100. It was fantastic.
Let's not throw shade right now.
No, I think everyone has their turn to being the drunk peacock, mate. You've definitely had yours. I'm sure Taylor's had his fucking turn at that. He's done every role in that league in the 10 plus years he's been in it.
Yeah. I really have hit every single like point of like different style of team. I've had the team that everyone's got the shits with that's killing it. I've had the team that's drunk peacocking its way to shitty wins, and I've had the team that everyone thought was great and starts 0-5 and wonders why the fuck it's losing. And it's just honestly, I feel like we've all been playing in that league for so fucking long. It's hard to have not basically experienced every different style of team you could possibly do. So yeah, this year's been a bit more. I mean, I've had a horrendous loss to your brother. That was fucking horrendous. It's a funny way of looking at it, though, because I didn't score that amazing in the first couple of weeks. So I look at it and I go, yeah, should I be 4-0? It feels like I should. But then I also had a couple of wins where I didn't have amazing scores anyway. So it's like 3-1. I probably should accept it and move on.
Yeah, it's what goes around and what comes around. It's kind of funny how that kind of balances out over time. But, mate, after a month too, you think that's a quarter of the NFL season pretty well done. And then, for fantasy terms, that's, sort of towards a third of the fantasy regular season gone already. And sometimes you kind of shake yourself after that and go, well, what do I even fucking know after 4 weeks? So it's just kind of fun how, no matter how many years you play, everyone's still a learner because every season throws up its new stuff. The Juicy Prune Cup has a couple of fun things in it too. There's like something where the person who comes last has to do like the league write-up each week, and there's like a punishment for the person who comes last at the end of the season, things like that. Yeah, it tells a few of the wrinkles and some of the fun things that happen around this league, because it's awesome. I love hearing about it.
So now we've got after the 10th anniversary a couple of years, last year, we got Big Ass Cup. So the first time someone won it was they were living in Canada. So the cup was in Vancouver for the first year, sat there, and then the loser has to pay for the shipment of the cup each year. So if you're at the bottom at the end of the regular season, you have to pay for where the cup goes. Problem is, we've got guys in South Australia, Cairns, Brisbane, Melbourne, Vancouver, Toronto, living all over the place. So it's when I first bought the cup, I was like, oh yeah, no, it should be reasonable size. It will be fine. Didn't realize it was the fucking size of a house.
It's like the Champions League trophy, isn't it? It's like
it's honestly, it's about twice the size of the cup that we've got for the Astros. And I was like, oh, holy shit. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God. Oh, wow. My bad, boys. And so now the first time it got sent overseas, it actually cost $250 to ship it and it took like 2.5 months because it wasn't air freight. It was one of the boys. It was a shipping container in the back of someone. So I was like, I hope this thing arrives before the start of the next season.
It's sent back straight away.
Yeah.
Get it just long enough to get the dust and cobwebs out of it, have a drink out of it.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's now a great punishment.
So it finally, now it's in Australia. So this year, so it got sent from Canada, then it got sent to Cairns, and then now it got sent to Cairns to South Australia. So it's sitting in South Australia at the moment. So anytime, it's like now become a big rivalry between the guys in Australia and the dudes in Canada, because no one wants to send the trophy back to Canada.
Yeah.
So everyone's going, nah, don't want to lose. And it becomes quite funny towards the end of the season when the guys that are coming in last are looking at it going, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing in first place?
Oh my
I
god!
don't want to be paying the shipment for this."
Start shipping your players to the Australian teams.
Yes.
When's that trade deadline? Quick, get him out.
No, it's good.
Fuck, that's a great. I love that league because every year you got some other wrinkle. Like you were talking about to the kicking scoring. There was conversation around that going to like, well, if it's a 33-yard kick, you get 3.3 points. If it's a 58-yard kick, you get 5.8 points. And I just think that's revolutionary.
And I think the only other one besides that was we tweaked with the defensive scoring.
Here we
go. For tackle, so you get tackle for a loss as well. So, but then your team, like, so instead of starting on 10 points, you start at 6 points. So there's tackle, So there's tackle for losses. There's also 3 and outs. So for every tackle for a loss, you get half a point, and then for every 3 and out, you also get half a point. But your defense, instead of starting at 10, it starts at 6. So if you've actually got a good defense who's like constantly making a team go 3 and out, like, because you might get a 3 and out and get 3 tackles for a loss. So then in that one sequence, you get like 2 points from your defense, whereas normally you get none.
Yeah.
So
this is revolutionary.
So it's kind of like it's made deep. Like, so you actually look at defenses and go, okay, they're a decent defense who can actually do something instead of just making turnovers.
I mean, because that's pretty much how you get your points from fantasy defenses, and it's how you go, right, who's playing these 3 quarterbacks who are turnover machines? That's pretty much correct. It's got a stream of defense, right?
Yeah, correct. So now it just so like I think this year we had actually the top, like we had Brandon Aubrey taken in the 7th and Denver defense taken in the 8th.
The league settings determine that's their value. I mean, it's not auto pick guy.
No, not at all. It was well before the auto picks because everyone was like, well, they're definitely the 2. And Brandon Aubrey's outperformed like Jamar Chase.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. AJ Brown.
I think you're outscoring AJ Brown at the moment, brother.
Yeah.
And on that note, I want to get you into the serious fantasy analysis. This is why we bring you on every year, is that you're a great fantasy player, and we really love hearing how your brain works on this. We often have very different opinions, you and I think that's kind of part of why we enjoy talking to each other about it so much as well. We do a segment to kick each week off called Breakouts. We do a lot of stuff around players who are fringe, but, we don't actually spend all that much time talking about the superstars. And it's a great chance to really press home when people own a superstar, what weeks they can expect a real uptick out of them. Adam, I've been doing this lately where I had been sort of just starting at quarterback and going back and forth between you and Tay pretty much. But what I've been doing lately is I've been getting to the guests and go, you know what? You tell me who the hottest player in fantasy is this week at any position. Who do you like the most where? And what are they going to do for their fantasy owner this week?
Well, the hottest player in any position at the moment in fantasy, he's a jazz master. Scat, 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 cat, scat, 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 scat.
Love it. That song has made such a comeback.
Or should I just go with? Because every single time I see his socials, it's literally just him yelling at the camera with a big woo.
And I think rightly, how much fun is he?
Oh, honestly, favorite player in the NFL right now.
Yeah. I bet you his jersey's just gone gangbusters in their merch store.
Yeah, probably just like when Sterling Shepard was playing for the Giants, probably just went off just like him.
Do you still have that jersey? I still have that every jersey. Time Sterling Shepard comes up, I just think about you and that. Like, do you like the Sterling Shepards?
Yeah, Sterling Shepards of the world.
Mate, so he's against New Orleans. This is a great chance he can really pop off. How many points do you reckon he's going to get, or you think he's going to get some touchdowns, some yards? What's he going to do?
I think he hasn't rushed over 100 yards this season yet, so this is definitely the one.
Yeah,
I reckon. If my predictions would be correct, and they're definitely going to be overs, but I reckon 110 yards, 1 touchdown rushing, then another 60 yards and another TD receiving.
The double touchdown guarantee.
Well, you've also got to think Tracy's gone, and then also you've lost Neighbours. So if Giants offense is going to be going forward anywhere, it's going through Scatterbo and Dart. And those two seem to have an awesome rapport, and I reckon Cam Scat is the man.
I'm not going to hold you to a number for total fantasy points. I just want to see the double touchdown guarantee come up. If you get that, I think you win. And I think if you get the 110 yards and a touchdown, you win, because you've got so many things happening here and they're all good.
I've just never believed in the guy so much.
Mate, I love it. Tay, you on that one, or you got a different one?
Oh, bro, I'd like to see how many crayons he eats. He's just an absolute fucking animal. But they were laughing at. They're like, he plays on turf, yet his jersey looks like he's been playing in mud. It's fucking hilarious.
He's hilarious.
I'll follow Adam's lead, and I'll stick with my running back situation here. And one of these guys is pretty much at the top of the list. So I wanted to sort of pair it with someone that, people have been on and off and sort of starting, and it's very much a matchup play. So I've actually got 2 running backs from the same team in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs up against the Bengals, who are second last against the running back position. And honestly, they are just a fucking disaster at the moment. What I've actually done here is I've gone them to combine for 200 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. It's obviously everyone out there is starting Jahmyr Gibbs, so this isn't breaking world news, but I just thought that obviously Monty had a pretty tough week last week. He's kind of on and off at the moment. He's not the consistent one at the moment. It's obviously Gibbs. So I just wanted people to sort of look at this and go, this is definitely a matchup where I think Montgomery will have a very good game again. And like I said, this Bengals team is just so susceptible to everywhere, but especially the run. So I think those two are going to combine for an enormous day this week. So please, if you happen to have both of them, start both of them. But obviously, just everyone out there that has either of them, make sure both of them are in your lineups for sure this week.
I love when you do this, because last week with the Genty Mason one, you got your 2 touchdowns, plus, in fact, you got 3. They're all from Genty, though. So it wasn't quite what you're hoping. But I like when you do this, because you're throwing the light to somebody who you're like, well, people should have this guy. But then you also just bring in the lesser owned, or the player people might have less confidence into it. And I love that you do that. And this is excellent, because I was on the Gibbs bandwagon here, and I'm like, Gibbs, 25 points. It's against Cincinnati. I just had him down for 25 plus. I'm not going to need to go into a lot of detail on that, because I think you just covered it.
Yep. Yeah, this Detroit team's in for a massive week. And the good thing for pass catchers in this game is because Dan Campbell just doesn't give a flying fuck about sportsmanship. He's the kind of coach that just doesn't care about pounding the other team into oblivion. So there's a chance that Jared Goff might be still passing in the fourth quarter with them at 59-7 or something. It's going to be amazing. It's so hilarious when you see Jared Goff score a touchdown in the fourth quarter when they're up 100.
So I'm all for that. I'm so all for that.
I love it. It's my favorite thing is we all know about game scripts and how important they are in NFL fantasy. And, obviously when teams are so far in front, it's always so shit at the end of the games because it's just they're not trying anything. Whereas Dan Campbell's just no, fuck that shit. We're going to destroy.
I run my whole playbook.
Yeah, he's trying to break records at every moment, and it's so good.
So good. We love Dan Campbell. Fantasy owners, if you don't love Dan Campbell, you're doing fantasy wrong. He's our Lord and Savior. He's the anti-Sean Payton. Hey, Tay, let's go to you for the next position. I'm going to throw the door open. You've got a quarterback, a wide receiver, or a tight end you can run with. Which position are you going to have your next breakout at?
I might go up to quarterback, and I've actually got a pair again here.
Fucking hell.
People are looking for guys to start, obviously, given that there's buys and stuff like that. So I actually paired 2 guys together again. I just really like both of their matchups, and the first one won't surprise anyone because I've been targeting the living shit out of this defense. But I'm going to take Justin Fields up against the Cowboys because even though the Cowboys looked like it was honestly amazing to see them compete with the Packers in that game, because I think a lot of people thought they were going to get absolutely destroyed, but it wasn't because of their defense. It was because Dak honestly had one of the best games I think I've ever seen given the situations. Like he was amazing in that game. So it was just obviously their offense keeping up. I just think the Fields look. I do think Fields sometimes with his arm can't take advantage of bad secondaries like some of the other quarterbacks do. But the thing is, like, this Dallas team's bad everywhere. It's like, you know, they're going to probably give up 100 and something rushing yards or something to him this week. Like, even if Justin Fields isn't just like dicing them with his arm, he's got so many different ways he can get there. So I've got him against this Cowboys team. Obviously, I mentioned last against the quarterback position. I'm also taking someone who's really been struggling, that I really, really love this matchup. And this defense he's playing against is like absolutely destroyed by injuries. Like, it's unbelievable. So I'm actually calling for a little bit of a breakout from CJ Stroud.
Ooh, what?
The Ravens are 30th against the quarterback position. And honestly, getting worse and worse. Like, they're losing more guys from their secondary. They're horrendous against the run. I can never fucking say this guy's last name properly, but Mazabuke, I think it is the way you say it. But he's out.
Pay it. That'll do.
So that's awesome with him. But they're losing so many secondary pieces, and I think CJ Stroud's in for a game where he's going to be actually looking like he was more like rookie CJ Stroud this week. So what I've actually done for these two combined is I've actually said that they're going to be top 10 in terms of their number combined. So I need Justin Fields to be 2 and CJ Stroud to be 6. That would make 8. So if you put their number that they finished together, I'm saying it's within the top 10.
Wow. And it's a funny week for quarterback because it's Penix and Caleb Williams and, you know, Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers who are away. So it's not like people are desperate for a quarterback, but it's the guy who had Burrow or Lamar Jackson who's now doubtful for the week. Those are the guys who are desperate for a little bit of help. It's not even the buyers that are hurting people. It's just kind of a funny week like that. I had also written down Fields Tay for 22 plus points against Dallas because I feel like there's just a few ways you can kill him. So I won't dwell on that because I feel like you've done a good job covering that. But what I would say too, Tay, is I'd give you to 12. Combine the two finishes for the quarterbacks in where they rank against quarterback scoring this coming week. And if they finish, say, 7 and 5, I still think you've probably done your job. I'd give you 12, mate.
Well, I guess like 12's not a bad number too, because it means they have to both be in the top 6. I mean, actually, that's not true.
Well, 4 and 8, but I mean, even at 4 and 8, I think you've done your job. You know,
I thought that through. One could be 2 and one could be 9, and it's still win. But it's still the idea is that both are going to be, you know, good. I don't want one to be amazing and one to be shit and still win. I want them both to obviously fit within that number. So yeah, sure. I'm happy to make it 12. Give me those extra.
Yeah, no, you can't give me 10. I'm going to give you the win if it still ends up 12. You know, I just still think you've done your job.
Yeah, look, the whole point of this is we're trying to do a number and we're trying to do something that's a little bit outlandish. The whole point of this breakout thing, we're not taking fucking Amon-Ra St. Brown to score 8 plus points. Like we're trying to actually pick something that like might sound outlandish, because that's sort of the whole point of the segment.
Yeah, totally. Have you got a quarterback who's your sort of favourite amongst all of them this week, Pads?
If I really wanted someone to do it, it would be JH, Justin Herbert.
Ooh.
Like, being lackluster since his week 1, literally just gone downhill since week 1. But he's if there's any week to come back from, Washington's defense is a no-go at the moment for their cornerbacks. So I think if Justin, and I think Mahonky, he's done nothing so far. So if there's a week for him to break out as well, it would be this week.
Mahonk if you're horny.
Mahonk, yeah. both of them are like, so Justin Herbert been a little slow the last couple of weeks, and they lost against the Giants last week. So surely if he wants to plant his flag for MVP, this would be the one to be like, nah, that was just a little speed hump. I'm coming back strong.
Plus, Jackson Dart's trying to steal his misses. You got to factor.
Dude, how good were those? How good were those pre-game messages?
That's so good.
They're so good. I
loved it.
We got some breaking news, boys. The Cleveland Browns just benched Joe Flacco for Dylan Gabriel.
Oh no! What?
That's straight off the Kev Graham.
It changes everything.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because I thought when Flacco was named there to start with, it actually did mean something for fantasy, but he's been so shit and not even willing to just like fully air it out that I just don't even I was so out on the Browns anyway, so it just didn't really matter.
I reckon this is a ridiculous week to put Dylan Gabriel in against Minnesota's like defense.
Yeah, against Flores.
Yeah, that is not a kind defense to play your first game against.
Isn't it?
Oh no, it's in London, isn't it?
Yeah, in London against Minnesota.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's basically you didn't want to.
You know, I just dropped the Minnesota defense in a league before we came to air, and now I'm going to have to go back and try and get them back off waivers. So I'm like, no, I'm dropping you for whoever's playing the Titans. That's pretty much what my strategy was there.
I've been targeting that too, don't worry. Arizona
now I have to go back and get who's playing the Browns now if Dylan Gabriel's going to start. Anyway, I need to hold you to a number or two here about your Herbert call, Ads. You got either like a stat line that you think Herbie or McConkey will get?
3 TDs. 3 TDs for Jay. For Justin.
Oh, Herbie Herb.
And Herbie, like even just one for Lad and like let's say 80 yards and 7 catches.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay. That's a nice day out.
Save it to it. Stack that up.
Mate, he's been neglected and I feel like white boy Lad needs to be respected. He's come back.
Everyone around him has been having top 20 weeks and he has not. And I think surely it's a matter of time, right? Surely. Like
Quentin Johnson didn't have hands before this year. Apparently he grew them over the offseason.
Formerly had dicks for hands. That's what we used to say that he and Romeo Dubs, was it dicks for hands?
Oh, yeah,
all of a sudden, Octavian Dix.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Wantavian Dix. We just swapped the letters. We're very clever here at this podcast.
Yeah, podcast.
I also think 7 for 80 and a touchdowns, that's 21 points. So anything in that range, that's a nice spot for Lad to break out from a spot where he has had about that combined over the first 4 weeks. He's really been on factor there when everyone else has been going off around him. Tell you if you've got a wide receiver who's going to pop off this week.
Yeah, I'm stacking that bitch up as well. It's actually one you brought up last week, Matty C, but I think this matchup's actually even better than the one he saw last week. He's just been one of these guns that just hasn't really fired this year. So I'm going to take Nico Collins up against this deplorable Ravens, secondary at the moment. 29th against the wide receiver position. Like I said, if I'm calling for a CJ Stroud breakout, I think it's going to come all through Nico Collins this week. So, yeah, this is the moment. I think if anyone wants to put out trade offers for Nico, now's the time because I think this could be the moment. Obviously called for a fashion Genty last week, so Nico might actually be my guy. I actually had a guillotine league where I was the only one that even put an offer on Nico Collins. I was super surprised. Like, I kind of thought his name value was still a bit higher than that, but I actually just was, when you put that bid in, that's a bit high, and you put it in, then there's just no other bid, and you're like, fuck me, I could have bid way less than this, but at the same time, I was kind of fine with the amount that I bidded, so I don't really care. But yeah, I just really think he's in for a really good game against this Ravens team. I've already talked about it with CJ Stroud, that I just think they're just so decimated with injuries that they're going to actually struggle, even though obviously the Texans' offense has struggled itself. But yeah, I think this is a get-right game for them.
He could score 35 points this weekend.
Yeah.
Puka week.
Yeah, I've got it. I was going to go for him for that sort of big mid-20s point PPR game, so I just had 25 plus PPR points for him.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. And I sort of did the same thing. I targeted a matchup where I think the defense is horrendous and took Ted McMillan against Miami for 20-plus points for the same reasons, right? It's just beating up on a bad defense, and their offense now, all of a sudden, Miami has got even less reasons to be happy. So weird to see them win their first game of the year when they lose probably the great offensive weapon they have as well. But I just sort of feel like this is a chance for Carolina to do something good. So I've taken Tet for 20-plus. Tate, I'm going to roll back to you for your tight end to wrap up our breakouts this week. Who's your tight end for week 5?
I thought this guy was dead and buried. He even decided to try a rap career. Didn't work out. Possibly the worst rap career in history. Decides to ramping up all fucking year. I've never seen a man have a longer ramp-up period into this week. But then he goes out and dominates with 2 touchdowns. Yeah. And it's not just that. It's not all about like targeting a guy that's just sort of broken out. That's not really how you get ahead. It's more to do with, obviously, he just lost his wide receiver 1 in his offense. This offense last year absolutely was predicated on the tight end position. I think there's a chance they could do it again. It's Darren Waller up against the Panthers, so 28th against the tight end position. Like I just said, I think the fact they lost Tyreek Hill gives me reason to believe that Waller actually could be sustainable in the tight end position this year. Obviously, it's tight end. Things can change. Like it's hard to sort of predict week to week like what's going to sort of happen. But I do think there's a chance that wasn't just a flash in the pan. Do I expect him to have 2 touchdowns every week or even in this game? No, I don't. But I do believe that moving forward, because obviously they've lost their wide receiver 1, there's a chance that they revert back to this sort of offense where they targeted tight end a lot like they did with Jonnu Smith last year. So, yeah, I just think obviously in this landscape and this matchup against the Panthers that have been getting destroyed by the tight end position for multiple years now, I think there's a good opportunity for him here.
I thought the logic. Ads, you in on that? Or would you prefer the Darren Waller rap album? It's right there next to the Le'Veon Bell one, by the way.
No one prefers that. No one, sure.
Maybe not the
$4 at Revolution CD, mate.
Maybe not the Darren Waller, but I'll go for the other guy that also scored 2 touchdowns last week and was still left on waivers. I'll go the go dirt route for the tight end.
What's fun about that too is you're asking a little bit about Goddard from Tay and I just in the green room before, just I think to suss out where we were on some of these free agent tight ends. And I was really strident in my, no, you just play Goddard. And then Tay came on, you asked him the same thing, and he's like, no, you just play Goddard. So I'm really thrilled to hear that something that you were sort of, I think you're just putting us through the ringer, to be honest.
Well, just testing the waters between like what the thoughts were out in the world, and if anyone actually believed in any other tight ends.
Yeah, against Denver, he's probably the passing target I would trust the most as well.
Sure.
How many points you got for him, or how many? What do you think he's going to do? How big is the breakout?
Let's not call it a full blown breakout. Let's ease it back to a acceptable 15 points.
It's been a good number for tight end, ads. We've been doing 15 a lot this year.
Yeah, I think 15. So just 1 touchdown, 4 receptions, and 60 yards.
Yeah, that's a good day for a tight end. 4 for 60, 5 for 50, something in that range. Bag of tutty. Happy as Larry, mate.
Happy as.
Hey, Tay, I went straight to the Trey McBride world because he's playing against Tennessee. So I just went, Trey McBride, 20 points. That's going to happen.
What a fucking team. The Titans are a fucking ass sandwich, so just target them.
Yeah. I'd probably take an ass sandwich over the Titans at the moment, but I'd also take 20 points from Trey McBride. He's just so necessary, and he hasn't had the big breakout week so far this year, but the ball's still going there. It's an offense that runs through the tight end as their first passing target, as we've seen from all the Marvin Harrison Jr. owners who've had a tough time out there. That'll be our breakouts this week. I'll just run down them by our analysts. Ads wants 3 touchdowns for Herbie Herb. And he's also then going to funnel one of those to Lad McConkey, who should end up with about 21 points as well. Nice little stack there for breakout players. We love the Scatterbo. He's up against New Orleans and Scat Man. We want to see 110 yards and a touchdown, plus 60 yards and a touchdown, plus the catches, plus anything else. Can he return punts? 30 points we reckon he could probably end up with, but we want to see him get get a couple of these touchdowns and some of this yardage up. And then Dallas got it 15 points against Denver. Sounds like a pretty sound line. Tay's got a couple of combos here, so let me run through them. We'll start with the running back ones where it's Monty and Gibbs, the old Sonic and Knuckles for their day out against Cincinnati. 3 touchdowns and 200 combined yards between them. I feel like that's a really good line. The quarterbacks, we went with 2. We have CJ Stroud versus Baltimore and Justin Fields at Dallas for a combined. Here's how this is going to work. We're going to take how many points they score and where they rank across quarterbacks for week 5 scoring. And then we're going to take where they finished in their position, add them together. So if it's 4 and 5, we're going to add that number together. That's 9. That number is lower than 10. Tay has fucking nailed this. I'm going to give him to 12, though. I feel like it's a tough ask. But yeah, we're going to take where they finish at the end of the week, what rank they finish at quarterback scoring, combine those 2 numbers. Tay reckons top 10. And to support that for CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, 25 points against Baltimore. At Baltimore, secondary's broken. Mate, they're struggling. Matabuke is now gone for the season as well, so their line is in trouble. The tight end, mate, Darren Waller, 1 rap album, and you got a touchdown guarantee on Darren Waller, did you? Surely.
Well, we talked about 15 PPR points. I'm going to say 15.1, Matty C. 15.
Come on. Yeah, I'd take that. 15.1.
So much more bold.
You're getting warmed up for the tipping point segment next. And that's, is he going to score your touchdown every week? Probably not, but mate, you could do worse than when they're up against the Carolina Panthers. My guys, look, I was on a few that Taylor was on. I've got Justin Fields, 22 points against Dallas. I got Jameer Gibbs, 25 points against Cincinnati. I took Ted McMillan in the other version of the Darren Waller bet. He is for the Panthers against Miami. I reckon he'll score 20 points in that one. And Trey McBride, 20 points against the Tennessee Titans. And that is your Week 5 breakouts. Time to shift to the segment that is sweeping the nation. It's time for Taylor's Tipping Point. Hey, ads. Do you know what to expect here? We're gonna test where you, and Tate did a great job of this at the end of that last segment. We're gonna test where you think a player's scoring will wind them up this week, and we're going after some pretty big players. Yeah, you keen to give this a shot? You reckon you're going to be good at this?
Yeah, no, I've got this. I've seen Woodridge do his magic of a weekday afternoon, and I reckon I can hold on with jackpot temptation.
Okay. He sounds pretty confident, Tay. And, mate, this is a segment you haven't had a lead in all year. The world got out to a 1-0 lead, you dragged them back. The world got out to a 2-1 lead, you dragged them back. You've got to have some chops to try and bring ads down to try and get your first lead of the year, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to drag Adsy to the river and drown him today, mate. Let's go.
This is one thing I love is when we've got guys who are really familiar with each other. The bullshit talk is fantastic. So the way the segment works, for those playing at home, and I urge you to play at home, I'm going to name a player, and nobody knows who those players are at this stage, and then the fella's going to bet back and forth about how many points they think the player's going to score until someone says a number higher than the other person thinks. The other person will tap out. So, and then you're left with somebody who's got that many points worth of faith in a player in their matchup just for week 5. Say, last week, I'm going to quickly recap because you actually had a pretty good week. Caleb Williams, 19.36 points, nice and specific from Brendan on that one. He came in at 12.78, so you won on that one. Brendan also went the over on 17 points with Derrick Henry, but he came in at only 7.8, so you win that one. On the other end of it, though, you had Trey McBride for 17.5 points. He came under that at 12.2, so Brendan won that one. And then the flex player, Nico Collins, who we had for 19.4 points. Brendan wins that one because he came in at 11.9. And then the big tiebreaker, I don't know what Brendan was doing here, but at Puka Nakua, he had 13 points and he tapped out straight away. Puka goes and throws off 30-6. So you had an emphatic 3-2 win. And it brings the series score to 2-all. I'm going to start with a player you talked up a lot last week, Tay, and in fact, we've had it out on the social media. You talked about it on the Supercoach show, but we finally saw the emergence of Ashton Genty. and he had a great big game against the Bears. This week he plays against the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm going to give it to you to add the opening bid on points for Ashton Genty this week. Where do you want to start?
Oh, I'll start at 11 points.
Well, seeing how the guy's standing up straight, I'm going 14 points.
Michael Myers style. All right, I want to go 15.5.
Weak. Absolute weak. I'm going 17.
All right. 18.
Oh, 18 and a half.
Speaking of weak. 19.5.
Yeah, I'm out.
All right.
19.5 points. Whoa. I mean, it's tough because we've seen him score so many points last week, but it's not like Indianapolis is some fortress, right? And man, after all the points he scored last week and those 2 receiving touchdowns, Ashton Genty for 19.5 points this week against the Colts. He is projected for 14.08 on sleeper in standard scoring. So it's got a bit to do to get your line, Taylor. I think ads may have just dragged you into a bad one, mate.
Nah, fuck that. Genty's back, baby. Let's go.
Getting out the Genty bag.
Wait. Is he back, or like is this the first time he's been there?
Good point. He's back to sorry, he's back to.
He's back to college.
Yeah, back to
Stay in school, kids. Stay in school. I'm going to move to our wide receiver. And this bloke is, for a rookie, I think he's been just fantastic. Absolutely lights out. It's Emeka Ibuka, who is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Seattle Seahawks this week. He's been better than advertised. And as I'm going to start with you on this one, Emeka Ibuka, how many points do you reckon he's going to score this week? What's your opening bid?
12.
12.
Thought he was going to throw out 70 and I would have thought about it. 14.
Against Seahawks?
They're one of the very worst fantasy secondaries in terms of points to the wide receiver, which is why I threw them in.
Yeah, that's why I'm very much of a 14 and a half.
15.
15.2.
15.7.
16.
16.3.
Yep, no, I'm done.
You two are so much fun.
I didn't want to go over 13.
I like being on overs. I'm sick of those fucking unders I kept taking on early, Matty. I like to be positive.
I think the unders were your downfall too. The weeks you were heavy on the unders were weeks where you were heavy on the loss column, mate.
Exactly. Fuck this shit. Let's go. Positivity, baby.
Ibuka he's projected 14.58 against the Seattle defense. So to have that line, 16.3 is where Taylor's taken the score to, and that's where Ads is tapped out. So that's our line, Taylor at 16.3 or more. I'm going to move us to the quarterback now. Quarterback is a well-known fantasy stud muffin named Josh Allen against in-division rivals, the New England Patriots. Taylor, you've had 2 overs. I like your optimism. Where do you want to start the bidding on fantasy points this week for Josh Allen at, home to New England?
19.5.
27.
Love it. Oh, straight up the guts. All right. 28.
You still went for it.
Got it.
Now, this is where it gets funny, because then you have a look at regular, so 4-point passing touchdowns, and I've got to remember what that score is like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I won't go 28. No, that's
He's gone.
Yeah. I suckered him in. I suckered him in with an overbid. With an overbid, 100%.
For context on this scoring, 2 ads, last week in a 40-40 draw, Jordan Love had 26.28 fantasy points.
Yeah.
So it's hard to score 30 in this format
Yes.
unless you're running a lot.
Yeah, how many rushing touchdowns did Jordan Love have?
Not as many as you might hope. 27.5 is our line, Tay. I think Ads is doing a great job. You two are just going for it. I love this.
Sorry, I forgot. James Cook doesn't exist at all either.
Nah, never heard of him.
Essentially what the score is, it's going to be a 63-7 game. Is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
That's a big Drake May game.
Mate, it's a Mitch. It sounds like a Mitch Trubisky game.
Yeah,
What's going to be?
Josh Allen's has just torched them for 40 points already.
Yeah. Take the over on Trubisky's yards this week, is what Ads are saying. Go and find your sports bet app and just put an over in on his yards.
Positivity, mate. Positivity.
Tay is preaching positivity. I'm going to stay with you here, Ads, because I've got a tight end to bring up. This is our fourth standing position because we've got a quarterback, running back, and wide receiver already in the books. You might know Travis Kelce. Used to be a footballer, now engaged to a pop star, and then now trying to play football. He plays against the Jags in Florida this week. I kind of thought it'd be an interesting one to bring up because we haven't really talked about him really at all on the show this year since the drafts happened and his stock slowly crept up. But, mate, where would you put an opening bid on what you think Travis Kelce can score against the Jags in Florida?
6.
7.
See, even that's way too high for this guy. 7, 8.
I'll go 9.
Yep, 9.5. It's basically if you believe he has hands anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the question. Is he Dontavian, Dix's fucking
Dix.
father? I'm going to go 10.
I'll go 10.5 just because he's been complete dog shit, and surely he does something.
That is the theory. And they had a shitload of touchdowns last week. He just missed all of them. I'm going to go 11.
12.
All right, I'll take under on that one.
There we go. That will be his highest score of the year too.
And, mate, here he is in a position where we have him on the Sleeper app in projections for 10.18, which would be, like any other year, you'd be like, what the hell, 10.18? But now we're like, I'd take 10.18 from Kelce. And I feel like maybe this is kind of the reverse where when Taylor got to 11, I thought, Ads, you've got him. And then you went to 12, like, Taylor's going to bail.
Yeah, no. The main thing was I wanted at least one over. I didn't want to be the sad sack who just went under on everything.
5 unders here, mate. Taylor might not invite you back.
I hate that sad sack. It doesn't feel good.
No.
He got rinsed 4-1 that week too, Tay.
Yeah,
betting unders is just so upsetting.
Yeah, it is. So there's no fun in doing that. I'm going to bring a fun player to finish it up. This is the flex player who could be any position, and I'm taking a running back. I'm going to take a running back who is highly touted and currently over the course of the year is on the fringe of the top 10, but we do think he will end up outperforming that as the season goes on. His name's Saquon Barkley. He, this week, is up against the Denver defense. So, not the easiest defense he's going to face all year, but they're proven to be high volume, even if his yards per carry isn't super high. He's getting north of 20 touches every single week. What is your opening bid here, Ads, on Saquon Barkley against the Denver Broncos?
16.
In Philly. 16.
I'll go 17.
19.
19.5.
Yeah, how many receptions he had last couple of games? Yeah,
All right, so he's had
4.
targets have been
4.
5 to 5 and 4, and then receptions have been 4 to 4 and 4.
Yeah. What is... Oh, man.
Generally good for 4 catches.
No. Mount.
At 19.5, Ads is bailed.
Yeah, no. Against Denver, they'll stack the box. They won't go anywhere. Like, Philly, I think, to beat Denver, have to throw it. Hey, AJ Brown popping off.
This is his week. Everyone trade for AJ Brown. He is projected for 16.51 in Sleeper this week. So to get to 19.5, I feel like Tay, a lot's got to go right compared to his projection. Does it help when we've put the lines in to know what they're projected? Is that something that anyone finds any value in, do you think?
Yeah, no, it's good to know. Sure.
Okay. I didn't mention Josh Allen's. His projection was 22.91 and we finished at 27.5. So again, we've pretty well gone over the projections on all of them. The one that was the closest was Kelsey, 12 points versus a 10.18 line. Ibuka was 16.3 on a 14.6 line. So those two were pretty close. But other than that, we've gone way overs, which is nice. It's nice to have positivity about
So what you're saying, I've outplayed Taylor and made him overbid on everything.
On absolutely everything. And I'm for this because I want to see some chaos. Tay works really hard when he's trailing, but when he's level or ahead of people, he's like, I got this. But when he's trailing, he puts the work in. So I kind of want you to see you put him back a peg, mate.
Yeah, lovely.
Overs central. Can't wait. Positivity. Feel the flow. Working it.
Another great guest is here. Are they up to the standard?
Busier than a one-legged cat in a sandbox, so I am good.
My boy!
Only one way to find out.
This is what the people come here for.
I've heard everyone's answers about these, and I've had to think about it.
5 questions. 2 dickheads. Loading.
Well, we're going to wrap up this first show of the week on the Friday by doing something we do with all our guests, as we've had you through the show numerous times. Last year, we got to guinea pig you on the 5 questions from 2 dickheads, and we're going to do it again, but with different questions. Today, we've remixed this segment this year, haven't we?
We have. Obviously, we've had so many great guests and some mediocre ones like you, Ads, who come through last year, so we decided that we were going to obviously change up the 5 questions that we asked you and the others that had been on the podcast last year. So still 5 questions from 2 wankers, dickheads, knobheads, whatever you want to, superlatives you want to call us. But we've obviously had to change up the questions just to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, lovely.
Keep it fresh.
Nice little drive-by of you there as well. It was great.
I like how he let it go, too. He's like, all right.
Classic.
Well,
I've been called worse.
I just thought we were all friends. It's all good.
Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends?
A long time ago, we used to be friends. Yeah. Tay gets to kick it off this year as well. I used to have the 3 out of the 5 questions, but this year, the whole thing's been remixed and Tay's going to kick it off.
Nah, we remixed it because we realised that I asked the better questions and just got the smooth, sultry voice and just better for the viewers, you know what I mean? So next year I might do all 5. All right. For question 1, would you rather fight 1 Derrick Henry-sized Kyler Murray or 5 Kyler Murray-sized Derrick Henrys?
Wait, so it was 5 Derrick Henry-sized Kyler Murrays?
I know, 5 Kyler Murray-sized Derrick Henrys, sorry.
I think it would be fight 1 Derrick Henry-sized Kyler Murrays. Because that dude doesn't learn the playbook. He's lazy. He's sitting on the couch. He's like, oh, yep, sweet, no, video games, no. Whereas you see the off-season videos of Derrick Henry?
Yeah,
yeah. No, if there was 5 of them at 4'7" or however tall Kyler Murray is,
size of a toddler. Yeah,
that is some scary dudes.
There's definitely a tactical advantage to having mano a mano versus 1 versus 5. But I'm going to ask you the next one. This is, and you can take this as over the time you've been playing fantasy football, or maybe even just this year, depends. But is there a player that you've avoided drafting simply because you just never bought their hype?
Never bought their hype. Until this year, it was Derek.
Yeah. We're talking about in the green room.
Yeah, but it was until this year I was like, it's just too big, but just never had the agility. If they got behind in games, then he never wasn't involved in the passing game. And then literally for the last, 8 years that he's been in the league, went, fuck it, I'll give it a go this year. And now I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I really finally got on the Derrick Henry this year after being a bit of a naysayer last year. And I have not been very happy with my performance of Derrick Henry. But I like that the first two questions here have been about Derrick Henry. And I'm just wondering how long you can keep this up for.
Yeah, let's go for question number 3.
It's a.
All right, question 3. Addy, who is your biggest rival in fantasy football?
Oh,
I don't know how he narrows this down because he's in some leagues.
I'm gonna have to say, best mate Tommy Jones. He was the best man at my wedding. I was the best man at his. Last year, neither of us had won a championship. Last year, we were both in the Prune championship match. He ended up winning by 2 points.
Oh!
Yeah. So I still haven't won that league. Devastating. But yeah, and start the year, played each other, lost again. Hasn't been started strong, but we have we can see our history. It's still at I think it's at 49-51% win rate ratio. Yeah, but and just being around each other all the time, the smack talk that always happens. I'd say Tommy Jones.
I don't usual to be loved by anyone.
Oh, mate, his nickname is Sex Bomb.
Yeah, I was going to go straight to that next. I had it dialed up on the Macy jukebox, mate. Fantastic. And, mate, he's burning down the house with the Cardigans, clearly. I wanted to ask you a question for number 4 here. This is my last question in the segment. Would you rather have your mother make every fantasy decision for your Juicy Prune Cup team this year, or would you rather just straight toss a coin to make those decisions?
Oh, toss a coin.
No 100%. Faith in Mama Ads. Go on.
No, not at all. No idea. I think she's actually the one that went to the Giants game and got me the Sterling Shepherd jersey. So
she's got chops. Look at her. She's got chops, mate.
Got chops. As in has no idea who the players are.
That's amazing.
Aldo and just giving his family shit. I love this question.
Yeah.
Love that. He's just sailing his mum out for being she just doesn't know anything. Mate, we've actually got quite a few folks who'd rather toss a coin than hand the reins of the fantasy team over their mum, so you're not alone, mate.
Yeah, good.
That's your favourite at the moment.
I think also, to be honest, if I was to try and give him any advice, if I was to hand it over and then try to give him any advice, their response would be to tank the team, so I talk about it less.
Yeah, I can understand the appeal in that.
Wonder if Adzy's mum would actually win a playoff game in Astro.
Whoa! Are we talking about your mothers here? What?
Your mother.
That question wasn't in the script. I'm out.
You'll be hearing from my attorney. Mate, so far I think the only person we've asked this question to whose mother would be preferable was we asked Ian about it, and he goes, mate, what I want is Manjot's mum. Because we know she watches games, and we know she's into it. So that's it. Just employ someone else's mum, I think is the correct answer.
That sounds fantastic.
Switching up, so good.
Shout out Mama Jot, by the way. Tay, you want to bring this one home?
Yeah, as opposed to Zach Wilson, who does other things to mothers. Anyway.
Oh.
Addy, question 5.
Yes.
On that note, which sports movie character do you wish you could draft into your fantasy football team?
Oh.
This is always the thinker.
Slow man.
Save this
Daffy Duck from Space Jam.
I wasn't sure where you were tying that into sport.
Yeah.
Walk me through this. What position's he playing? What's the advantage of Daffy Duck in your fantasy team? I need to know because I'm going to make a bit of a social media post about this.
Daffy Duck, mainly because he's got that Michael Jordan special stuff that he spits all over everyone with the special stuff.
But it was just water the whole time.
Exactly.
Oh my God. We got Daffy with the special stuff. Mate, if Daffy's got the special stuff, maybe you'd hand him the reins to your fantasy team as well. Let's just roll them together.
Whoa. 2 and 2 is not bad. 2 and 2, and I've barely got receivers.
Yeah, no, that's true. Where are you playing Daffy? If you drafted him in your fantasy team, what position's he taken up? I need to put him in a jersey, mate.
Coach.
You're gonna sack yourself.
Oh yeah. No. Well, yeah, because he's got the special stuff. I'm like, if there's anything I've learned from my years of fantasy managers, it's have no idea what you're doing, and you'll be better at what you are doing.
Yeah, fair enough. Take the stakes out and just play blind. That's it. Have fun.
Because every time you get more involved and you think you know more than anyone else, then the auto draft guy beats you every time.
So
the auto draft guy is currently undefeated in the American Football ACT World Championship League that Manjot and I are in. And I had him this week, and he still didn't lose. I didn't lose either. We fucking drew with 156 points each. And this guy's an auto draft. It's just standard sleeper scoring too. It's absurd. A shout out to Luke Hall, by the way. Great Gladiators journeyman and great all round great guy in the American Football ACT. Mate, your answers to this do this segment do resemble the grocery list of a stroke victim. Your answers are a Derek Henry-sized Kyler Murray, Derek Henry, Tom Jones, toss a coin, and Daffy Duck's special stuff. So you sound like you are really in need of a hug and maybe a health professional.
Nah, lovely. I like it.
Post these answers of no context.
Also, so the other thing that I've noticed in years and years. So in Yahoo Fantasy, when you each team has a level. I don't know if you guys on Yahoo at all.
No, played Yahoo 1 year once and didn't love it.
But what happens is each team. So say if you play in more than one league in Yahoo, you can build your rank up or lower your rank during that time. So the funny thing which I've noticed over the years is every single time it's a first time dad, their level seems to tank for a year before it comes back up.
Okay.
So this is my first year.
I see what's happening here. Yeah.
This is the first. So I'm a first time dad this year, and my level has gone from gold. I was at 723, and I've absolutely tanked down to bronze within the first 4 weeks, down to 590. So my level, and we call it the first time dads because every you can actually. It's a syndrome, and you can actually see it when you jump on someone's profile. You can see their levels over the years, and you can see where they finish each season. And every single guy in our league who has a kid for the first time, they literally tank for that whole year before they have a strong comeback the next. So
the redemption arc.
I was like, no, I'll break the mold this year, and I've done the exact opposite of what I thought. And I've stuck to the exact mold and just gone, yep, fantasy, yep, first time dad, you're tanking.
No time for you this year, kid. I gave you last year.
Well, it goes to show that from what I've learned is if you actually pay your kids attention, you suck at fantasy.
Yeah.
And if you ignore them for at least 1 year, you can win a chip.
And that's the message everyone should take home. Ignore your kid for a year, win a championship. It's only 1 year. They'll forgive you.
1 year. Well, they'll forgive you because you'll bring the trophy home and they'll be like, oh, I love you, Dad.
Yeah, look at the size of that sippy cup.
Yes.
You can actually probably get a silicone lid made for them these days on like Temu or something. I'd love to see you with the Astro League cup with a sippy lid on it. I'd love to see that. Go Finn, by the way.
I can't wait to piss and shit in that, Dad.
Man, you're not old enough to do that. You have to be a winner first.
That's true.
Sit down, kid. Let me tell you what it takes to win this thing.
You can only show them by winning it.
Yeah.
Or at least winning a playoff game. Maybe. I called it.
It hasn't even been in your state yet, mate. That's how close you've come to it. It hasn't even been across your side of the border.
Whoa.
Tonight.
The spiciness will continue on the Sunday show. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to put you through the ringer of starts of the week for the next one, and hopefully we'll get you into to do a little bit of advice giving with the mailbag. Looking forward to having you back for Sunday, mate.
Awesome. Been a great time.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Tay, thank you so much for everything you bring, and it's nice to be on a podcast where you aren't host. I mean, how does that feel? It must be a nice departure from the normal.
Yeah, I'm sure it's good for me and the listeners, really. Getting a little bit less and getting me in spurts than instead of me constantly is probably better for everyone, really. And honestly, it's better for my heart rate. 100%. I don't feel like I'm going to pass out right now. So, look, that's always a good thing.
That's like the name of a shit band, Spurts of Goodall. That's I'm not buying a ticket to that concert. For more of this, you can come back and catch us on the Sunday show. Taylor and I are also around on Thursday with the Supercoach Halfer. If I join Taylor, it turns out he's quite capable on his own. We also return Sunday, of course, for the Starts of the Week show. But do not forget to catch G'day Gridiron. They had their midweek show, and they do also, on the weekend, the shows for the games that they want to watch and a Monday night preview. So catch them as well. You can also find us and our footy tipping comp on Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. If you haven't joined the tipping comp, still jump in there. The winner of the tipping comp is going to walk away with a pretty cool AGN prize pack as well. Fellas, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you all on Sunday. Hooroo, fellas.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Thanks to the Aussie Gridiron Network, Australia's home for NFL and Australian gridiron content. Discover everything the network has to offer, including G'day Gridiron, Pastry Press, NFL, and Aussie Gridiron Today. Buy merch and win free stuff. Visit the mothership at Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. Hooroo!